Welcome back to Phoenix English classes. Today we are going to continue with the chapter The Enemy. We have already completed two sections of this story. The story is a bit longer, so it will take I think 2 or 3 more videos, 2 or 3 more classes, and don't miss even one. Up to now we have read that Sadao and Hana, they are man and wife, they are Japanese. They lived in a house that is situated on the coast of a beach. They live on the beach of a sea. Everything was very good except of the thing that the World War was about to begin and Americans were trying to overcome the Japanese. The simple thing was that there was an open enmity between Japan and America, and as the sentiments of the people are always there, Japanese people disliked Americans and Americans disliked Japanese people. In the meanwhile, everything is peaceful despite of the fact that the war was on. Sadao and his wife on one evening saw that there was something that was lurking in the mist, in the fog around the beach. They investigated into it, they went there and they found that it was an American sailor. He was the sailor of American Navy, and somehow, because he was perhaps got arrested during the war, and somehow he could manage to escape from the jail, and his escape from the jail was not a mystery. It was opened and perhaps he was chased also. That's why he got a bullet shot in his back. Because Sadao is a doctor, he is a physician and surgeon. As soon as he got this man, he found himself in a dilemma. And that dilemma was that if he should save the life of an enemy soldier or not. And if he thinks that we should not save the life of this enemy soldier, the sense of duty and the sense of profession, the piousness of the profession of a doctor starts haunting him, and he is unable to think if his greater duty was as a nationalist Japanese or his prime duty was to serve a patient who was shot, and both the things were not possible together. They discussed with each other, Hana and Sadao. First, they tried to take a decision that let him die or leave him there or throw him back into the sea and he would certainly die. Although they talked all these things, yet they could not do it. The profession came in between. Up to here, we read about the conversation between man and wife. We saw the dilemma of a woman and a doctor who was Dr. Sadao. Now let's continue. Because there was no other way, they could not throw him back into the channel, they could not throw him back into the sea. The only way was there left, that they should take him to their house and tend him as a patient. They came back with that limping figure. They carried him and reached their home. Thus agreed, together they left the man. He was very light, like a fowl that had been half starved for a long time until it is only feathers and skeleton. When they picked him up, when they lifted the man up, they found that he was very light. There was no weight. As a fowl, as a bird who had been starving for a long time. He was only a skeleton and skin. There was no flesh. So his arm hanging, they carried him up the steps and into the side door of the house. Thus carrying both of them, reached home, and they entered their own house. This door opened into a passage, and down the passage they carried the man toward the empty bedroom, and passing through an open passage they reached into an empty bedroom. It was not in use, because this bedroom had been the bedroom of Sadao's father, who was dead, who was no more. And since his death, it had not been used. The room was empty, the bedroom was empty, and they could put the patient there, they could put the man, the soldier, the American soldier there, a white man, in the bedroom of their father, the master of the house, the previous master of the house. They laid the man on the deeply matted floor. They laid him down on the floor. It was deeply matted, there was a thick mattress on the floor. They made him lie there. Everything there had been Japanese to please the old man. The decoration, the furniture, everything was Japanese, because the old man, Sadao's father, was top to toe a complete nationalistic Japanese who never wanted anything else except of Japanese things in his house, in his room, in the surroundings. And this is an irony of fate, that you dislike the things, and after your death a foreign enemy, an American man, an American soldier, is using your premises. The old man was always happy with the Japanese things. He would never in his own home sit on a chair or sleep in a foreign bed. Throughout his life, Sadao's father never sat on a chair that was not Japanese. He was so staunch a believer in Japanese. Being Japanese was the only thing of his concern. He could not think even to sit on the chair that was not Japanese. He would never think of sleeping in the bed that was not Japanese. Hana went to the wall cupboards and slid back a door and took out a soft quilt. She hesitated. The quilt was covered with flowered silk, and the linings was pure white silk. Now Hana went to the cupboard that was there in that room. She opens it, she slits the door, and sliding the door she finds a quilt that was pure white. The quilt was also of Sadao's father. तो इस हिस्से में हमने देखा कि दोनों सहमत हुए इस बात पे कि इसको तो घर लेकर जाना ही, इसको टेंड करना ही है, और वो दोनों उसको कैरी करके लेकर जाते हैं। कैरी करके जब ले जा रहे हैं तो उन्हें महसूस होता है कि ये तो एक किसी पक्षी की तरह, एक चिड़िया की तरह जिसको बहुत दिन से खाना ना मिला हो, भोजन ना खाया हो उसने, इतना हल्का फुल्का था। ही वॉज फुली अनकॉन्शियस, वो नहीं जानता है, वो सोल्जर नहीं जान रहा है कि उसके साथ क्या हो रहा है, बिकॉज ही इज़ फुल्ली अनकॉन्शियस, ही इज़ इन डीप स्लीप और अ काइंड ऑफ कोमा। तो कोमा में पड़ा हुआ है वो, और आधे कोमा में है, पूरी मूर्छा में है। उसको लेके लोग जब घर पे पहुंचते हैं तो एक ही कमरा घर का खाली और सदाओ के पिता का है। उस पिता का जो अपने जीवन भर सिर्फ और सिर्फ जापानीज़ चीज़ों को ही पसंद करता था, उसके कमरे में कोई भी चीज़ विदेशी नहीं हो सकती थी, लेकिन आज एक विदेशी इंसान उसके कमरे में लेटाया गया उस मोटी मैट्रेस पे जो जापानीज़ थी। और अब हाना निकाल के लाए एक रजाई जिसको सदाओ के पिता इस्तेमाल करते थे, वो भी पूरी जापानीज़ थी, और आज एक विदेशी, एक अमेरिकन के वो काम आ रही थी। They were tending the American soldier as a patient only on the grounds of humanity. Look the text. He's so dirty, she murmured in distress. He's so dirty. How dirty he is. She murmured in distress. There was distress in the voice of Hana. Yes, he had better be washed. Sadao agreed. Sadao also agreed because he had come all the way from a prison to the sea beach where nothing else was found except of the sands. His whole body was full of sands and perspiration, and he was also shot, and there would be the blood stains on his body. If you will fetch hot water, I will wash him. Sadao says, yes, he is too dirty, and it will be better for us to clean him first, to wash him first, before we start giving him any kind of treatment. I could not bear for you to touch him, she said. Hannah said, but I don't like the idea that you are going to touch an American person, an American soldier. That is against my will. I don't want you to touch such a man who is our enemy. We shall have to tell the servants he is here. And another compulsion was there because there were servants in the house. They have to tell the servants that there is someone. And who is he? He is an American soldier and we are going to tend him. We have to inform the servants also. I will tell Yumi now. She can leave the children for a few minutes and she can wash him. And Hannah suggested that you don't have to wash that man. I don't like that idea that you are going to wash him, an enemy soldier. But rather, I would like the idea that I should send Yumi. Yumi is the maid servant in the house who tends the children. They have two children, one boy and one girl. And she is attending those children, but for a little time I will attend the children and she will come and do the work that you want, the washing of the cleaning of the man. That will be done by Yumi, who was a maid servant. Sadao considered a moment. Let it be so, he agreed. He thought for a moment and then he also agreed with Hannah. There was no harm in such a suggestion that except of you, the servants can wash him. He said, okay, she can do it. You tell Yumi and I will tell the others. Okay, you should tell Yumi that there is a foreign man, there is a man who is of American army and he is in our house and we are going to attend him as a patient. I will inform other servants, you will inform Yumi. But the utter pallor of the man's unconsciousness face moved him first to stoop and feel his pulse. But when he saw the pale face of the man, he was getting into deep unconsciousness. That's why once again Sadao bent and tried to get a feel of the man's pulse. If he was alive or not, if he was sinking or not, if he could bear the treatment that they wanted to give him. It was faint, but it was there. The pulse was very faint, but it was there. The man had not died yet. The man was still alive. The pulse were sinking slowly. He put his hand against the man's cold breast. Then he put his hand on the chest of the man and felt that it was getting cold. He was nearing death. The heart was still alive. He will die unless he is operated on, Sadao said, considering. Sadao was a very good surgeon. He knew that if he had not undergone an operation at once, he would sure die. The question is whether he will not die anyway. But the question that was there, it was also possible that he would die in the process. He would die at the time of operations. If he was going to operate him, perhaps he could be saved. If he is not going to operate him, he is sure to die. Hannah cried out in fear. Don't try to save him. What if he should live? Hannah, hearing this, that he can die even after the surgery or even during the surgery. Hannah cried, if he is sure to die, why don't you let him die? Let him die and it would be better for all of us. What if he should die? Sadao replied. But Sadao replied calmly, what benefit would it have if he dies? If he has to die, he will die. He stood gazing down on the motionless man, as if he was also thinking about it. He looked at the motionless man. He was almost a dead body. This man must have extraordinary vitality, or he would have been dead by now. And he could easily understand that this man was a man of extraordinary vitality. If it had not been so, he would have been a dead man long ago. He was struggling for life. It means he had a great vitality, extraordinary vitality that is found in only a very few people. But then he was very young, perhaps not yet 25. If he thought of letting him die, there was one question. That soldier was a young man. Perhaps he had not yet completed his 25. He was less than 25. Such a young man, how can he allow him to die if he could save him? You mean die from the operation? Hana asked. Hana once again asked Sadao, do you mean that if you try to save him and if you try to operate him, he can die even then? Sadao agreed. He said yes. अब यहाँ पे जो बात हुई दोनों के बीच में, पहली चीज़ तो हाना ने ही देखा और उसको बताया सदाओ को कि इतना गंदा है, तो इतने गंदे इंसान के साथ में तो कोई ट्रीटमेंट भी नहीं हो सकती है। ये परेशानी की बात थी। सदाओ भी एग्री करता है, कहता है हाँ अगर ये साफ़ सुथरा होता तो ठीक है, अब नहीं है तो हमें से ही करना पड़ेगा। अच्छा होगा कि तुम थोड़ा सा गर्म पानी ले आओ तो मैं इसको साफ़ कर दूँ। हाना कोई बात पसंद नहीं है, सेंटिमेंट्स नहीं, तुम इसको छुओ, एक विदेशी सोल्जर को छुओ, ये मुझे बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है। और अगर साफ़ करना इतना ही ज़रूरी है तो हमारी मेड सर्वेंट यूमी है जो हमारे बच्चों को अटेंड कर रही है, मैं बच्चों को उतनी देर के लिए देख लूँगी, यूमी गर्म पानी ला के इसको साफ़ कर देगी। डोंट टच हिम। शी डज नॉट वॉन्ट हर हस्बैंड टू टच एन एनिमी सोल्जर, अ वाइट मैन। दैट वॉज द सेंटिमेंट। तो सदाओ भी एग्री हो गया, उसको तो उससे मतलब है कि ये आदमी थोड़ा साफ़ सुथरा हो जाए सो दैट ही मे स्टार्ट हिज प्रोसेस ऑफ क्योरिंग हिम। उसने कहा ठीक है, अच्छी बात है, तुम यूमी को बता दो कि वी हैव एन अमेरिकन सोल्जर हियर टू ऑपरेट, टू टेंड हिम, टू लुक आफ्टर हिम, और मैं बाकी सर्वेंट्स को बता देता हूँ क्योंकि ये जानकारी तो सर्वेंट्स को देनी पड़ेगी। और ये कहने के बावजूद वो एक नज़र डालता है उस बेहोश पड़े, निश्चल बेहोश पड़े उस सोल्जर को। उसका पीलापन, उसके चेहरे का पीलापन बढ़ता चला जा रहा है। तो ये महसूस करने के लिए कि इस व्यक्ति के पास, इस सोल्जर के पास कितना वक्त है, उसको महसूस करने के लिए वो झुक के उसकी नाड़ी पकड़ता है, उसकी नब्ज़ को पकड़ता है और कोशिश करता है कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि नब्ज़ डूब चुकी है। तो पाता है कि हाँ नब्ज़ अभी चल रही है, हालांकि बहुत धीमी चल रही है लेकिन चल रही है, अभी ये जीवित है। फिर वो सीने पे हाथ रखता है तो वहाँ पर भी ठंडा है, सब कुछ ठंडा है, लेकिन धड़कनें आ रही हैं। वो सोचता है कि इसके पास तो बड़ी विचित्र किस्म की वाइटैलिटी है, इसके अंदर जिजीविशा है, इसके अंदर जीवन की जिजीविशा एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी है, अद्भुत है। क्योंकि ऐसी दशा में कोई भी दूसरा व्यक्ति अभी तक मर चुका होता, उसको मरे हुए काफ़ी देर हो चुकी होती, बट ही इज़ स्टिल अलाइव। एक डॉक्टर के लिए बड़ी दिलचस्पी की बात है। इसका मतलब है कि ये अभी मरा नहीं है और जीवन के लिए संघर्ष कर रहा है, लेकिन खतरे तो अभी भी हैं। हो सकता है कि ये ऑपरेशन करते समय मर जाए या ऑपरेशन के बाद मर जाए, यानी कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि ऑपरेशन करने पर, इलाज करने पर वो बच जाएगा। तो हाना ने तुरंत कहा अच्छा जब कोई गारंटी नहीं बचने की तो उसको मर जाने दो, हम इसकी सेवा करके देशद्रोह क्यों करें। दैट वॉज द ओनली ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ हाना। सदाओ ने लेकिन कहा अच्छा क्या होगा अगर ये मर जाएगा, मरना तो इसको मान लो मरना है तो मर जाएगा, लेकिन हम कोशिश तो कर सकते हैं इसको बचाने की। वो उस आदमी को, निश्चल पड़े आदमी को देखता रहा और इस बात का एहसास करता रहा कि उसे इसकी मदद करनी चाहिए क्योंकि उसके अंदर एक्स्ट्रॉर्डिनरी वाइटैलिटी है। एंड दैट वाज अ थिंग ऑफ स्टडी फॉर अ सर्जन लाइक सदाओ। पढ़े लिखे लोगों के साथ ये समस्या होती है। व्हेन समथिंग इज रिलेटेड टू दियर सब्जेक्ट दे कैन नॉट बियर द ग्रीड ऑफ पेनिट्रेटिंग इनटू इट, एंड दिस वाज द क्यूरियोसिटी ऑफ अ सर्जन। दूसरी एक और बात थी, एक ह्यूमन बात भी थी, सिर्फ सर्जन वाली बात नहीं है, एक ह्यूमन बात भी थी कि वो मुश्किल से 25 साल का था, अभी 25 साल पूरा नहीं हुआ था। मर सकता है ऑपरेशन से, वो बात अलग है, लेकिन एक छोटे से एक नवयुवक को आप कैसे मर जाने दे सकते हैं। हाना ने जब पूछा कि वो मर सकता है तो सदाओ ने से एक सिंपल सा आंसर दिया, हाँ मर सकता है। हाना कंसीडर्ड दिस डाउटफुली एंड व्हेन शी डिड नॉट आंसर सदाओ टर्न्ड अवे। एट एनी रेट समथिंग मस्ट बी डन विद हिम, ही सेड, and first he must be washed. He went quickly out of the room and Hana came behind him. She did not wish to be left alone with the white man. He was the first she had seen since she left America, and now he seemed to have nothing to do with those whom she had known there. Here he was, her enemy, a menace, living or dead. In this paragraph, Hana thought with a doubt, and when she did not reply to Sadao's reply that he can die, when there was no answer from Hana, Sadao could not stop himself and he turned away, and he said, we have to do something at any cost, at once, otherwise he will sure die. There are possibilities, but if we are standing here doing nothing, he is sure to die. He said, the first thing we need is to wash the man, and he went quickly off the room. Hana also came behind him. The simple reason was that she did not want to stay there with a white man in absence of her husband or anybody else. She hated that thought that she was alone in a room, either with a living or dead man who was an American, an enemy. That was the general conception of a woman that is always there. Although she had been in America for a long time, at the time of study when Sadao and she studied there in America, then there were certain friends, American friends also, but when she left America, she left it forever. Since she came back to Japan from America, she did not meet any American till now. And she thinks that I have nothing to do with these Americans. If they are there, they are only my enemy. And if this man, this American man is lying there, either he is dying or he is surviving, at all, it is only a threat for me and the nation. He is only an enemy, either he is living or dead. She is so sure, she is so blunt about taking such a decision. यानी हाना ने पहले संदेह किया और सोचने लगी कि ये बचाने का क्या फ़ायदा है जब ये मर भी सकता है। जब उसने कोई उत्तर नहीं दिया तो सदाओ ने देखा कि हम बहुत देर तक इस डायलेमा में नहीं रह सकते हैं, क्योंकि हमें तुरंत कुछ ना कुछ करना होगा, अदरवाइज़ ये लड़का तो मर जाएगा। तो जब उसको कोई उत्तर नहीं मिला तो बड़ी तेज़ी से साथ बिना कुछ कहे उसने कहा हमें तुरंत कुछ करना होगा, सबसे पहले तो इसे साफ़ करना है। और वो जल्दी से कमरे से बाहर गया। जैसे ही सदाओ कमरे से बाहर जाने लगा, पीछे पीछे हाना भी चली गई बाहर, क्योंकि वो इस विचार को भी बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पा रही थी कि वो एक कमरे में एक अमेरिकन के साथ या एक गैर जैपनीज़ के साथ अकेली थी। उसका मन इतना दुखी, इतना घृणा उसके मन में भरी हुई थी इन अमेरिकन्स के लिए, क्योंकि वो कुछ भी हो तो वो दुश्मन थे। और उसने इस बात को अपने जीवन में उतारा भी था। जब से वो अमेरिका छोड़ के आई थी, जब वो पढ़ते थे तब अमेरिका में थे, वहाँ पे उनके दोस्त भी रहे होंगे, लेकिन जब से वो अमेरिका को छोड़ के आई थी तब से लेकर आज तक वो किसी अमेरिकी से मिली ही नहीं थी। उसने कभी किसी अमेरिकी से मुलाकात नहीं की थी, उसने किसी को देखा नहीं था। मानो वो अमेरिका छोड़ के क्या है, उसका अमेरिकन से कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है, उनको विचारों में भी नहीं आने देती थी। यहाँ तक कि जो जिनसे वो वहाँ पे मिल चुकी थी उनसे भी कोई संबंध नहीं रखती थी। उसके लिए ये व्यक्ति या अमेरिकी जिंदा था या मरा हुआ था, सिर्फ एक दुश्मन था, सिर्फ उसके देश के लिए एक खतरा था, उसके अलावा कुछ भी नहीं। शी टर्न टू द नर्सरी एंड कॉल्ड यूमी। But the children heard her voice, and she had to go in for a moment and smile at them and play with the baby boy, now nearly 3 months old. Over the baby's soft black hair, she motioned with her mouth, Yumi, come with me. I will put the baby to bed, Yumi replied. He is ready. Now Hana went to the nursery where the two children were, and the children were looked after by Yumi, the maid servant. She turned towards nursery and called Yumi. She called Yumi, but the children heard the voice of the mother, and for a moment she had to go into the nursery because the children had heard the voice of the mother, and she smiled at the children and started playing a bit with the baby, who was not more than 3 months. He was only an infant. Over the baby's soft black hair, she motioned with her mouth. She kissed at the black hair of the baby, the younger child, and said, Yumi, come with me. Yumi replied, I will come. The child is going to fall asleep. As soon as he is asleep, I will come out. यानी अब यहाँ पे क्या हुआ कि वो नर्सरी की तरफ मुड़ी और उसने बाहर से ही आवाज़ दी यूमी को. अब आवाज़ सुन ली बच्चों ने, तो जब बच्चों ने आवाज़ सुन ली तो अब स्वाभाविक रूप से माँ को अंदर जाना ही था. माँ अंदर गई, यानी हाना अंदर गई. उसने छोटे वाले बच्चे को थोड़ा सा उसको खिलाया, और अभी लगभग 3 महीने का था, और उसके एकदम सॉफ्ट से उसके बालों पर अपना होंठ रखा, यानी उसको किस किया. और ये करते हुए उसने यूमी को आदेश दिया कि तुम मेरे साथ बाहर आओ. यूमी ने कहा, हाँ बस बच्चे सोने को तैयार हैं और मैं तुरंत बाहर आती हूँ. नाउ द chapter will be continued. This is a long chapter, and I think 3, 4 or 5 more classes are desired or required for it. So be patient and try to understand everything. We will stop this story here, and till then you can revise the taught things, repeating the video, pausing it, and replay the video as much as you can, so that you may understand the story. The story is very nice. Don't leave even one line of the story. We will stop here, and what you have to do now is a very easy thing, that you have to continue with your studies. Pick up your book, try to find the difficult words, write their meanings, and another thing that you can do for difficult words and meanings, you can look into description, that is just below this player. So go into description, find the difficult words and their meanings, write them in your notebook. If you are preparing for the 12th board examination, you have to do all this, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Have a nice day.